you're coming into the UK for a short period of time or you are coming to stay for a bit longer, I'm going to be sharing in this video 9 tips that you need to know before you come into the UK. Hello everyone and welcome again to this channel. My name is Moya Adeyemi. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button down below, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. On this channel you can expect to see videos about life in the UK. I also talk a lot about life of a support worker. Welcome again to this channel. The first tip I'm going to be giving everyone that is planning to come into the UK for a visit, for a holiday, or to stay in the UK is that you need to check the time and the season that you are coming into the UK. So you need to know if it's the winter, the summer, the autumn, or the spring, and also try to check the weather of the day you'll be arriving in the UK. One of the funniest things in this country is that you can have all this season in one day. Yes, so you need to check what is the weather forecast for the day you are coming into the UK, so you can know the kind of clothes that you need to pack and the kind of clothes that you need to wear. So if you're coming for a short period of time, maybe you're coming during the summer, you need to know that okay, I'm coming in the summer, so you don't come with coats and things that will maybe take spaces in your luggage if you are not going to be needing them. So check the weather and the season in which you are coming into the UK. And if you are coming for a longer period of time, you need to make sure that you check the weather of the day you are coming, so you address appropriately. The second tip for people that are coming into the UK is to get accommodation. For people that are traveling for a short period of time, this can be easier for them to get like Airbnb or for hotels, and for short stays, accommodation that can easily be gotten without needing any kind of serious documentation. But for people that are relocating into the UK or that are planning to stay for a bit longer, this might be a little bit stressful, especially for families. So for people that are single, it can also be a little bit easier for them to get shared apartments that they can stay for like 6 months, a year, or a year plus. But for people that are coming with family, they'll definitely not rent a shared apartment for them, so they need to get an accommodation that will maybe be enough for their family. And most of the difficulties that people run into while trying to get this kind of spaces is that if a family is moving into the UK and maybe it's just one of the parents that is maybe coming to the UK as a student or coming to the UK as a worker, most of the time they don't have a document to prove that they are financially okay to rent a property that will be enough for their family. I made a video earlier on about how to rent a property in the UK. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put the link up in the screen so that you can watch that video to have more knowledge about how to rent a property and the kind and types of property that we have in the UK. So the gist is just that you need a document to prove that you and your partner are able to rent a property in the UK. The third tip I'll be sharing in this video is the transportation system in the UK. So if you have a driving license from your home country or from wherever you're traveling from into the UK, you can check on the UK website to see if your driving license will be acceptable for you to be able to use it to drive in the UK. And if you're not having a driving license or you can't actually drive, then you need to be using the public transport. Before I talk a little bit more about the public transport, I want you to know that in the UK the drivers drive on the left side of the road, whereas in mostly other countries they drive on the right side of the road. So this can be a little bit tricky because it's not just driving on the left side of the road that is a problem, but the fact that it's like you are driving on the opposite side of the road. So if in your country, if you are coming this way, if you are actually supposed to be on this side, if you are in the UK, you'll be on that side, which can be a little bit confusing for new drivers in the UK. So that's one of the things that you need to know, and you need to like prepare your mind ahead so that when you're driving, you're a bit more careful so that you are not driving on the lane, on the wrong side of the lane that you're supposed to be driving at. And if you're going to be using the public transport, so the major two public transportation in the UK is the train and getting the bus. You can also book taxis, which can be a bit more expensive depending on wherever you are going, but the train and the bus is the major transportation in the UK. When you're planning your travel, these are some of the things that you need to consider and see if where you are going or if where you are renting is accessible for trains or is accessible for buses, so that you are not spending too much money on taxis or how to maybe go around wherever you're staying, because at the initial stage of your maybe moving into the UK, these are some of the things that are very important that wouldn't make your life more difficult than it should be. So these are things that you need to consider. So when you're renting a property, check if it is close to a train station, and also if there is a bus stop that is closer to where you're renting. The other tip that you need to think about if you're coming to the UK for holiday or you're coming to move into the UK, you need to know the value of the currency compared to where you're coming from. If you're coming in, definitely you might be coming in with some money, and you need to plan whatever you're going to be doing in the UK according to the currency of the United Kingdom, which is pound sterling. So whatever you have with you, or whatever money you're spending in your home country, you need to think about it like in pounds, so that you know that okay, the money you have will be enough for you to settle in when you are just coming into the UK. So you need to know the value of pound sterling compared to your home country, because you know money value is always increasing and decreasing. You can't use the last figure that you have in your head to plan for your journey. You need to know that okay, at this time of the year when I'm coming, how much is pound sterling going to be to, let's say, naira, that is Nigerian currency, and you know that okay, this is the amount of naira that I will need to actually settle in when I get to the United Kingdom. The fifth tip I want to share in this video is cultural difference, which is a big topic to talk about. I'm not planning for this video to be too long, so I'm just going to briefly talk about some of the things that you need to be expecting when you move into the UK. I made a video also earlier on when I started this channel about the cultural differences that I have experienced moving into the UK from Nigeria. I also put the link, attached the link to this video, so that you can also watch that to see some of the things I experienced as a Nigerian in the UK. Talking about the cultural differences that you'll be experiencing if you come to the UK, the first thing that you might quickly notice when you come into the UK is the way people say hello to each other. So in the UK, people might not necessarily say hello to you depending on where you're coming from. Like me coming from Africa, coming from Nigeria, is like a normal thing that you say hello to almost everybody you find on the street. So coming to the country like this, you don't expect that from anybody, so that you won't be shocked when you get here. The other thing that you also need to know about cultural differences is the food. The food might be different from whatever you are used to. So these are the things that you need to Google and also search for to know what are the kind of things that I'll be able to get from the supermarket when I get to the UK. What are the kind of things that maybe I might need to pack with my bag so that I don't lack these things. Maybe I won't be able to get it in the United Kingdom when I move there. So food is also a major thing that you need to look into. They are very small details, but they are the things that if you are well informed about, it kind of prepares your mind before you come into the United Kingdom. The other thing I want to talk about on cultural difference is churches and religious organization. So in wherever you are coming from, maybe if you are a devoted person like me that loves to go to church and enjoy fellowship with other brethren, you need to know where you are renting, how close is that place to the closest church, because some places you might not find a church in miles around those places. So those are the things that will be like a cultural shock to you. Back home in Nigeria, wherever you find yourself, at least you find a redeemed church wherever you find yourself. But here in the United Kingdom, it's hard to just find churches around like that. So these are some of the things that might be a bit of shock for you when you come into the UK that you need to be familiar with, and maybe you need to research more, and might be like a reason for you renting a place or not. The other tip I want to share is setting up your bank account. So if you're moving into the UK and you want to have a bank account, you will need a proof of address to do this. That means that you would have at least lived in your house or in your home for a month or so, because the proof of address is like the proof of maybe how you're paying your water bill, your gas bill, your electricity bill, your internet bill, and your name is on the receipt. So you can use this receipt as a proof of address for you to get a bank account number. The other option that you can have is that there are some banks that don't really need some of these documents, like a Monzo. That is my first bank in the UK. I think there is other banks also that they don't have a physical bank, but it's like an online bank that you can still be using for some period of time before you get yourself together, and then you can open an actual bank account. These other banks that I mentioned, like Monzo, actually work exactly like a normal bank, but it's just easier to open than most normal bank. And this video is not sponsored by Monzo, but I really enjoy banking with Monzo. I'm going to go into the other tip, which is getting your NHS number as quickly as possible. If you're moving into the UK for like 6 months and above, I would advise you to try as much as possible to get registered, have your NHS number just in case you need some medical treatment. Try to get yourself registered with NHS as quickly as possible. The 8th tip for you if you're just moving into the UK is to try to be intentional about connecting with people. Like I said earlier, in the United Kingdom, you can have neighbors and you might not have ever said hello to your neighbor. You might have people in your workplace that you might not have talked anything more than work. So you have to be intentional. Like myself, these are some of the things that maybe I struggle with, like making intentional steps to connecting with people. This will really help you, because having people around you if you're just moving into the UK can make things even very easier for you. Changing location and relocating can be a lot of stress, so having people around you is going to be a saving grace for you. So be intentional about connecting with people. And the last and 9th point in this video that I'm going to be sharing with you is that take things slowly, especially for people that relocate to the UK. When you're coming from wherever you're coming from, you have expectation, you have like goals, you have like things that you already have intentions of achieving and doing and all of that. But I want you to take a chill pill and just enjoy the flow and just enjoy coming into the UK. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't do too much of work. Don't try to please anybody. That is why if you're living wherever you're living from, don't give promises that you cannot achieve or you cannot fulfill before you leave wherever you're coming from. Especially people that are coming to work, maybe they have high expectation of earning money and doing some stuffs back home and all of that. Please don't give promises. That is just a gist. Don't give promises. When you get here, try to know how things are being done, the bills that you need to be paying, and how you yourself are going to get settled first. Then before you can maybe venture into all these goals and things that you want to achieve. So try to take a chill pill and enjoy being in the United Kingdom. Google places that you can visit, places that you can go to and relax and just enjoy being in this country. So that is my last point, that you take things slowly and enjoy your stay in the United Kingdom. If you have watched this video to this very point, you are the real VIPs, and I really thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please smash the subscribe button down below, and I'll be coming again next week to give you amazing videos that will be value for your time. My name is Moya Adeyemi, and I'll see you in my next video.